Thank you. Let me just quickly introduce. My name is Justin Brim. I'm an admissions counselor here with Binghamton University, and thank you all for attending this session. And I'm also joined by Michael Henningsen, our transfer admissions specialist, and wearing a number of hats here at Binghamton as well. So I'll pass it to him before we start with Dina and our student panel as well.
Excellent. Welcome, everyone. We are so excited you're taking time out of your Friday afternoon to learn more about Binghamton University and how to be a teacher and ways that Binghamton can help you get there. Now, a little housekeeping rule. If you should have any questions throughout the presentation, please ask them in the Q&A feature. The chat function has been turned off, but we do have the Q&A, so feel free to ask any questions, and we will either answer them through there or we will answer them live towards the end of the presentation. Again, welcome, and I'll turn it back to Justin.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. So I do want to introduce now Dina Hartung, who is our director of the New York State Master Teacher Program and also the director of recruitment for our Department of Teaching, Learning, and Educational Leadership, also known as TLEL, in our number of different education programs that we have. So yes, I will then turn it over to her. Just give us a quick second.
Okay, my name is Dina Hartung. I am the director of recruitment for the Department of Teaching, Learning, and Educational Leadership. Welcome. I'm excited to be here with you, and I'm sure you're excited as potential prospective undergraduate students at Binghamton University. You're going to love Binghamton. I am joined by 3 fabulous graduate assistants that we have working in our department. I can't hear you for whatever reason, but I know you can hear me. So I'm just going to continue on. My graduate assistants are going to help me by looking at the chat. So if your chat is enabled and you have some questions, please type them in there. They will do their best to answer those. They also have access to my phone number, so they're able to text me and alert me to anything else that you say that you'd like me to cover. So I'm going to introduce them. They're going to introduce themselves actually a little later on. I kind of want to get through this PowerPoint, and this is kind of the part that I want to get through quickly, because I think where you're most interested is hearing from our students and hearing what do I have to do as an undergraduate student. So I want to go over some of our department staff. Dr. McCann is our chair. Tom Mastro is the director of academic and student services. Andrea Decker is the director of clinical experiences and partnerships. Tam Amand does admission, certification. Nicole Wolf is our administrative assistant, and Andrew Loso, because we are a graduate program from the Office of Graduate Recruitment. Even though it's a graduate program at Binghamton University, there's a very clear and defined pathway as an undergraduate that you can take if you want to be a teacher or if you're interested in going into other areas of education. We are part of the College of Community and Public Affairs. We feel as though we are part of a culture that is world changing. We have different programs, human services programs in the college. We have everything from social work to public health to human development. And our curriculum has a seamless integration of classroom experiences and real world experiences. Our director of clinical experiences, Andrea Decker, has many well-developed partnerships with regional school districts that we're very proud of. Our graduates are confident, they're prepared for the world, and they really gain a lot of advanced exposure. You have a lot of time in classrooms at Binghamton University. We do boast over 38 programs in education, but we're not large in numbers. So students feel they get a lot of personalized service throughout their time with us. We prepare teachers as scholars. We have a lot of, we are an R1 research institution at Binghamton, so there is a lot of ongoing and active research going on. And we offer, like I said, a variety of different programs, which we'll go over in a few minutes. We boast a small class size. There's a lot of student connections, faculty and staff connections. Our faculty and staff are socially and culturally responsive in their practice. We prepare high quality teachers and continually get high marks, both within the state. We are an accredited program, and nationally and internationally. Program offerings. We do have initial teacher preparation programs. They would be the programs you would most likely be interested in, the initial teacher preparation programs. What does this mean? We offer an MSED and an MAT. So an MSAD program are for students who want to major in elementary education. So they want to teach students anywhere from birth through grade 6. We also have an MAT program for if you want to teach a content area in grades 7 through 12. That means that these are for students who are not yet certified. So they are coming from an arts and science background or a human development background or a different background other than education. We also have advanced preparation programs for teachers who are already certified, coming out of certification programs, who want to earn their master's degree. We have an educational studies program, which is a non-certification pathway for people who want to teach maybe at the college level or internationally. We also have an educational leadership program. This is for advanced studies after you have your master's degree. In New York State, we require 30 hours of advanced preparation to go into leadership, to be either a building or district leader. We also offer an EDD program. Department accolades. We very proudly announced recently that Dr. Amber Simpson, who is in math education, has just received a $1.5 million grant to fund our youth makerspace research. This is a prime example of our faculty doing great research. And as a graduate student, you can be a part of that research. Jackie Lucchetti, who was a student of ours, just recently won the Nancy L. Zimpher Scholarship. Nancy Zimpher was the chancellor of the SUNY system in New York State. And Rachel Murat, who is a dear friend of mine and a former colleague of mine, is the New York State Teacher of the Year, and she is also an alum of our program. So what should I be doing as an undergraduate student who wants to be a teacher? We love this document because, and we can send this to you digitally if you send us your email address, but this is available. You can also email TLEL@binghamton.edu. One of my grad assistants will certainly put that in the chat for you, I'm sure. And because we think great teachers come from Binghamton University. So what do you need to do as an undergrad student? Well, if you want to become a secondary teacher, these are the content area coursework that you need to have before you go into our adolescent education program or our MAT initial certification program. So we offer those programs in English, French, Spanish, math, social studies, and science. We also, you saw earlier in my presentation, we also offer a variety of 4+1 programs in the College of Community and Public Affairs. So we do that with human development into a non-certification pathway, but we also do it with Harper, with many of our content area pathways as well. So actually, if you do your undergraduate work at Binghamton and then continue on into graduate studies with us in the Department of Teaching, Learning, and Educational Leadership, then you can potentially get your master's degree or your MAT in 1.5 years. So that would be either a 4+1 or a 4+1.5 program. Okay, so it could potentially be 5 years or 5.5 years. In New York State, all teachers have to earn their master's degree. So you don't have to do a traditional undergraduate teaching program for 4 years and then a 2-year master's program. You don't have to do it that way. Becoming an elementary teacher a little bit different. You might major in human development in CCPA. You might major in an area in Harper, maybe psychology or sociology, or there's a number of different majors. And then these are the prerequisite coursework that you would be required to take before gaining admission into Binghamton. This will earn you an MSED. That's a Master's in Science and Education. And this is a 2-year program. We, as I said earlier, we integrate a lot of hands-on work in regional school districts and student teaching. So for both programs. Does anybody have any questions about that? You can write them in the chat right now, or if you like to email us, like I said, for this document, you certainly may do that. This is a larger version. Okay. So how do I connect with a member of our admissions team? Like I said, general inquiries to TLEL@binghamton.edu or to me, Dina Hartung, and my email address is dhartung@binghamton.edu. Or if you are already at Binghamton and you would like a transcript review, or you would like to speak with one of our advisors, Tammy Mann is also available. She is our admissions and certification advisor. Tammy works directly with New York State Education Department to work with them on certifying our teachers. So if you have any questions about New York State certificates or any other certification information, or if you just need some assistance, like, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a teacher, I'm only a freshman or I'm a sophomore, what do you think I should be majoring in? What do you think are the courses I should be taking are? Can you take a quick look at my transcript? Tammy's always available to help our prospective students. We also have a link to our application here, which is a little early for you to be doing that, but there's also a link on our TLEL website. So I would like you to meet our students. Annie could not be with us today. Annie is a former graduate assistant of ours. She's currently working in the field. She's kind of has a unique story. So I wanted to, she very kindly sent me a videotape of herself. So I'd like to introduce you to Annie first, and then we're going to move on to Sarah, Tori, and Matt. So Sarah and Tori and Matt. So Sarah, if you could start us off, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Sarah Howe. I'm one of the graduate assistants in the Department of Teaching, Learning, and Educational Leadership. I'm in my last semester of my MA TESOL program. So if you guys have any TESOL related questions, I'd be happy to answer those. So in conjunction with this GA position and with being a student, I'm currently working at Saudi Electronic University. I'm teaching. My undergrad was in, my BA was in TESOL and French. So one of the things that I really liked about, I'm already acting like I'm graduated. Looking forward to it, 2 months, not even 2 months. Is one of the things I really like about the program is the fact that the international aspect or interface that we have. So part of the program, or as part of the program, a lot of our classes have projects with universities in Turkey, Poland, South Korea, El Salvador, and China. And so that's given me like a lot more perspective. I have had teaching experiences elsewhere in France, the Netherlands, and Saudi Arabia, and the Dominican Republic, but never in those other places. So I've appreciated the cultural aspect of that. So anyway, that's there you go.
Okay, my name is Tori Scalabrini. I'm also a GA for the department, and I'm in the MAT English program. So for me, the best part about Binghamton, I was an undergraduate here, and then I took a gap year and was working in Italy for a little bit. And when I came back, I realized that teaching was something that I was really interested in, and I hadn't been interested in my undergraduate. So I didn't major in anything that was specific to teaching. I majored in environmental chemistry and English. And then I decided I wanted to be a student for the teaching program. So my favorite part was that the application process, like everyone was so helpful to me, like between my advisor or what would become my advisor and Tammy, they were both super helpful in like getting me into the program and showing me what it was going to be like. And everything has been very personable since. I've had a lot of experience with my professors where I've gotten to know them very well. And my advisor is also one of my professors, and he's been really great as well. So it's just been a great experience in terms of getting that personalized like learning experience, because I had had no experience whatsoever with teaching before. And now like I'm finishing up my last semester of specific classes, and the next semester is my student teaching. And I feel very prepared for that after having no experience before this. So love the program.
Tori, you said a lot of things I was going to say, but hi, I'm Matt Sturm. I'm also one of the grad assistants here. Like Tori, I did do my undergrad at Binghamton University, and I thought that was really awesome because I got to get exposed to a lot of the faculty and staff like Dina a little beforehand. And I think that also helped. I'm actually in the early childhood special education program. So I want to be an elementary school teacher, different from Sarah and Tori. And I kind of feel like this program's helped in that it offers me a lot more for the degree, what to get certified in, what to be able to become. And also just preparing me to go and teach. As Dina said, Andrea helps with a lot of clinical work and setting you up with that. And because of that, I've been able to work. I currently substitute at Whitney Point School District, and I've been able to get a lot of experience firsthand and really become a part of that community and gain confidence and skills in becoming a teacher myself.
So I know some of you had questions about, just what you think, you're not sure what you want to teach, but you think you're interested in education. We can make that work. Give me a call or, send me an email. Sending me an email is probably the best route. And then I can give you my phone number, or we can set up a Zoom meeting. But I'm always interested in speaking with prospective students. There's one more item I failed to mention. It wasn't in my presentation, but I do want to bring it up to you. And that's our education minor. We do have an education minor in TLEL. And our education minor is the largest minor. It's one of the largest minors in the university. It's about 500 students. Our education minor is a great way for you to get started and for you to think about what you'd like to do. If you'd like to teach secondary or if you'd like to teach elementary, it kind of gives you some of that perspective. You have opportunities to work in local schools or work with different age students in some of our not-for-profits regionally. So you can certainly do that as an undergraduate student. Our undergraduate minor does not lead to certification, however. This is not the type of minor that's going to get you through the graduate program faster or lead you into certification. I just want to make that perfectly clear. But it is a great way to start out exploring. Thank you, Matt, for confirming that. I appreciate that. Many of our graduate students have been in the education minor in the past. What Annie was going to tell you, if you could have heard her, was that she started out as someone in nursing at another university, decided to come to Binghamton, thought she wanted to be a teacher, majored in psychology, and was an education minor. So she was able to kind of get a feel for what she liked and what she really wanted to do. And so she ended up going the pathway of childhood, early childhood, and special education. Our childhood, early childhood program does lead to 2 certifications: special education, literacy, or TESOL, along with childhood, early childhood. What does that mean? That means you can be an elementary classroom teacher, or you can be an elementary literacy specialist, an elementary special education teacher, or teach English as a second language to elementary students. Actually, that it may be beyond that for English as a second language. So there are lots of options at Binghamton University. So we really hope to hear from you soon. And we're happy to send you literature or talk you through and help you think more about us. So thanks.
Awesome. So thank you, Dina. And thank you, Matt, Tori, and Sarah. Really do appreciate, yes, the perspectives and everything like that. Is before we head out, because I see that there was, and I think this probably was answered. There was one question that we mentioned about answering live, but I think you all definitely gave some different definite answers. Is about, of course, getting a better idea on which route to take, secondary or elementary. Does anybody want to add anything additional or related to that for a potential path and than what was discussed before? Matt, Torres, or anybody want to add something?
If you're interested in TESOL, if you already have your initial certification, if you're going in something else and you want to get, or if you're getting your initial certification right now and you want to get an additional certification in TESOL, then you can take the MSCD program, and that will qualify you, and that's K-12. Or you could take the MA TESOL program like I am, and it's for if you wanted to teach abroad or at a university someplace in the US.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I guess, I have one last follow-up question. If any of you would like to just kind of chime in, what was it about Binghamton's program that in a sense why you chose it? Because of course we have students who are kind of in that choosing stage right now. So what was it about that specifically, maybe that Binghamton, that stood out against other options that you may have had?
One of the things that stood out to me definitely was that the program is a little bit shorter than some of the other programs for MAT that I had seen. So I'll be done after a year and a half of class, as opposed to some of the other schools were 2 years. So it's just nice to have like an extra 6 months or semester that you can be applying to jobs and get into the workforce. So that was something that was really big for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Tori.
For me, my program's 2 years for the MSCD childhood, early childhood, but while it is a very busy 2 years, it's a very fun, enjoyable, and momentous 2 years where you learn a lot. And for those 2 years, you really get a lot in them compared to other schools where you might have to do it for 3 years and they might not even offer you all that TLEL can offer you.
So I already mentioned one of mine in my intro was the fact that I'm gaining international exposure, more international exposure and connections with people in different countries. And then I'm also going to hop on the bandwagon with Tori and Matt and saying that I was extra motivated and I was able to finish my MA TESOL program in a year. That's taking a fall, winter session and spring session, but I'm taking 18 credits and I don't advise it, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes,
Oh, thank you for that. Great perspectives as well. Yeah, one of the things, of course, Binghamton offers is that exploration, but also that value in being able to complete your studies and still really like kind of explore in and outside the classroom. In a time frame that's also a mix of economically feasible and kind of career feasible too, on what you want to do. So, okay, so I think if there aren't any other questions, and I don't think there are, I think we can wrap this up. But of course, the wrap up is in many cases just the beginning. So if Dina had mentioned, of course, that and provided her email, we provided our links to not just our education minor, but our TLEL website and other resources. Even if you want to eventually see that video from Annie. So with all that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day, wherever you're broadcasting from. Thank you, Michael, as well, for your assistance on the Q&A. And I hope to hear from all of you again soon. But thank you. Take care, everyone.